words would make us stay. We trusted time more than the truth, believed silence would find a way. We held on to the good moments, ignored the growing space. Didn't notice love was asking us to slow down and really face. Love taught us how to fall so deep, how to dream and how to feel, but it never showed us what to do when hearts are tired, but still real. What love forgot to tell us was how to speak before it fades, how to say the fragile things before they turn into distance and days. It showed us how to hold each other, but not how to stay. That's what love forgot to tell us along the way. We confused comfort for forever, routine for being seen. We stopped asking honest questions, chose peace over what we mean. We loved in ways that felt so safe, avoided what felt hard. Didn't know love needed courage just as much as heart. We thought love would understand if we kept the calm alive, but love grows quiet when the truth is something we deny. What love forgot to tell us was that closeness takes work, that avoiding every hard talk slowly makes two hearts hurt. It taught us how to need each other, but not how to stay kind. That's what love forgot to tell us before we fell behind. I regret the words we missed, because love didn't leave us empty. We just never learned to protect it like this. Now I hear the quiet clearly, all the moments we passed by, all the times we chose later, when later meant goodbye. I carry what this taught my heart, even the pain feels true. Some lessons only come from love that couldn't stay with you. What love forgot to tell us is something I won't forget. The staying takes more than feeling, it takes honesty and breath. Love gave us something real once, even if it couldn't stay. What love forgot to tell us is what I'll carry every day. Love isn't only what you feel, it's what you're brave enough to say before silence learns your name and decides how the story ends. I felt the distance in your touch before you said a word. Your silence started answering the questions I hadn't heard. You stayed but not the same as before. Your eyes looked past my face. Still I kept saving room for you in a heart you were already leaving space. I saw the signs, I felt the shift. Still told myself to stay because loving you felt like a promise. I couldn't walk away. I was still choosing you when you were choosing peace. I was holding on to us while you were letting go in pieces. I kept believing love meant waiting, even when I knew I was standing alone, still choosing you. I softened every heart true so you wouldn't feel the weight. I learned how to read your moves and slow my heart to your pace. I call patience understanding, call distance needing space. I kept rewriting what hurt me just to keep us in the same place. I told myself love bends not breaks, that sacrifice is proof. I didn't see I was losing myself every time I chose you. I was still choosing you in rooms you stopped walking through. I kept our future breathing on hold. You no longer knew. I mistook endurance for devotion and silence for truth. I was carrying all the choosing while you were already through. Maybe love isn't meant to be one-sided, brave. Maybe staying shouldn't hurt this deep. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret the parts of me I didn't keep. Because choosing someone every day shouldn't mean choosing alone. And I finally see how loving you cost me a home. I was still choosing you, but now I'm choosing me. I'm laying down the waiting, the almost, the maybe. I remember how deeply I loved, not how long I stayed untrue. I was still choosing you then, but now I'm done choosing you. Some love doesn't end with anger. It ends when one heart finally admits that choosing someone shouldn't mean losing yourself. We still say good morning right, still share the same old days. But something in your voice grew thin between the words we used to say. Your hand was resting in my palm, like touch became a habit, and love wasn't asking for more. We didn't shout, we didn't fall, nothing loud, nothing wrong. We just stopped reaching for each other before we knew. We lost the warmth first, long before the end. The way you looked at me changed, and love didn't defend. We stayed inside the same old lines, but the meaning bled. We lost the warmth first. That's how goodbyes are heard. We laughed, but not from deep inside. Smile just enough to stay. We learned to keep things comfortable so we wouldn't have to say. I felt the distance after goodnight, when silence chose to last, when closeness stopped fighting, and moments slipped into the past. We called it tight, called it time, called it just a phase, but love was quietly asking us to notice what we pushed away. We lost the warmth first, not the care, not the love, just a spark that made us reach without thinking, without gloves. We kept the shape of us alive, but the feeling blurred. We lost the warmth, we lost the warmth first, and everything else followed that word. Maybe love doesn't leave all at once. Maybe it fades when no one sees. Not in endings, not in tears, but in missed chances to lean in close and choose to feel. I don't blame us for growing quiet. I just wish we noticed when the warmth was asking for our hands before it left back then. We lost the warmth first, and I still feel it now. Now when you finally walked away, but when you stopped asking how, I remember how love once felt when it was alive and sure, because we didn't lose each other first. We lost the warmth, and love couldn't endure. Some endings don't sound like leaving, they sound like quiet rooms where loved ones stayed warm and slowly forgot. You were right beside me, but miles away inside. Your smile said where it was, but your heart had somewhere else to hide. I learned the shape of your silence, the pauses in your breath. You were here in every moment, but never fully left yourself. I didn't need you closer, I just needed you there. Not halfway in the room with me, and halfway with her. You felt close but unreachable, like touch without the heat. I could hear your voice say my name, but your heart that you didn't stay. You hurt me, but forgot. I softened every question so you wouldn't pull away. I learned how to ask for nothing just to keep you one more day. I told myself love was patient, that space was something kind, but love shouldn't feel like reaching for someone already gone in my. You felt close but unreachable, right here but not all in. I was holding the door wide open while you stood on the edge within. I kept mistaking distance for depth and silence for truth. You felt close but unreachable, and I was fading, trying to reach you. Maybe love isn't supposed to feel like guessing, like walking on fragile ground. Maybe closeness isn't proximity, it's knowing someone will turn around. I don't regret how much I tried. I regret how long I stayed, convincing myself that almost love was all I deserved that way. But you felt close but unreachable, and now I finally see being near someone who isn't present hurts more than letting them leave. I'll stop reaching for what isn't there. I'll stop breaking into. You felt close but unreachable, and now I'm choosing distance from you. Some people don't leave by walking away. They leave by slowly becoming unreachable while standing right next to you. Right next to you. I love the way I pictured us, more than the way we were. I held on to the future scenes while the present stayed unsure. You were real but distant, I filled in what you couldn't be. I love the spaces between your words more than your reality. I kept believing love would grow if I just held the frame, but I was loving potential more than your name. I love the idea of us, the version that felt complete, the one where effort met my heart and love met me halfway in the street. I stayed for what we might become, not what was right in front. I love the idea of us, and that's where I went wrong. I defended you when doubts arrived, said they don't understand. I protected dreams you never held with both of my hands. I called patience deep connection, called waiting meant to be. I ignored how lonely loving you was slowly making me. I thought love meant faith without proof, that hope was something Didn't see I was holding on to something that wasn't sure. I love the idea of us, the promise, not the truth. The story I kept telling myself to make the distance feel smooth. I kept rereading every sign that said you weren't it. I love the idea of us more than the love you were in. Maybe love isn't meant to be imagined. Maybe it's meant to be shown. Maybe if I felt alone that often, I already was alone. I don't regret the heart I gave. I regret the lies I dressed as trust. Because loving who someone could be cost me loving myself enough. Now I see us without the filter, without the hopeful blur. I see how much I tried to build something you never were. I don't hate the dream I had. It taught me what I need. Love that meets me rest, and I love I have to believe. I love the idea of us, but now I choose what's real. I won't stay for imagined warmth while my heart freezes where I kneel. I'll wait for love that shows up fully. Now I love I have to push. I love the idea of us once, but now I'm letting go of us. Some love doesn't break your heart. It gently teaches you the difference between being hopeful and being held. I stood right where you left me, believing time was kind. I thought love meant staying still until your heart aligned. I kept your name like a promise I wasn't meant to break. I waited in the silence for a sign you never gave. I told myself you needed space, that patience meant we're strong. But love was waiting faithfully while you were already gone. Love waited, you didn't. You chose the open door. I stayed holding what we were while you reached for something more. I kept the faith, I held the line, believed you'd come back through. Love waited, you didn't. And that truth finally broke through. I defended every absence, every night you didn't call. I learned how to miss you quietly, so I wouldn't ask at all. I called waiting, understanding, called pain, letting you breathe. I didn't see how loving you was slowly leaving me. I thought love meant holding on until the timing's right. I didn't know love can't survive when only one heart stays fulfill. I'll choose a love that chooses back. Now I wanna have to pursue love waiting. You didn't, and now I'm done waiting for you. Some love doesn't end with goodbye. It ends when you finally realize that waiting isn't the same as being chosen. We still talk like nothing changed, still shared our everyday, but something subtle slipped away in words we didn't say. Your laughter sounded farther off, mine learned to sound okay. We didn't notice the distance growing quietly, day by day. We weren't broken, we weren't wrong, we didn't fall apart. We just stopped checking if we were still reaching from the heart. We were drifting without knowing, side by side but not aligned, holding on to what we used to be while losing what was mine and yours in time. We thought love would stay by default if we just stayed near. We were drifting without knowing until the space became clear. We chose comfort over questions, silence over truth. We learned how to keep things gentle at the cost of being you. And me too, I felt the change but named it nothing. Called it stress, called it life. Didn't see we were slowly letting go without ever saying goodbye. We trusted closeness would survive without attention paid, but love needs more than presence. It needs to be chosen every day. We were drifting without knowing, not in anger, not in pain, just a slow release of meaning from the things we used to say. We kept the shape of us together, but the feeling slipped away. We were drifting without knowing, and love didn't stay. Maybe love doesn't always end in fire. Maybe it fades in quiet rooms and missed chances to lean a little closer. In later that never comes soon. I don't blame us for growing tired. I just wish we slowed the pace long enough to notice we were losing what we thought would always stay. We were drifting without knowing, and now I finally see it wasn't one moment that broke us, it was many we let be. I'll remember how it really felt, even as I let it go, because we didn't leave each other suddenly. We drifted slowly without knowing. Some endings don't space you didn't cross. Your hands stay right beside your own, like reaching at a cost. You used to lean into my silence, now you let it be. Like closeness was optional, not something you needed with me. I didn't need grand gestures, just a sign you still care. But love grew heavy on my side when you stopped meeting me there. You stopped reaching for me before you walked away. I felt it in the quiet moments you let slip each day. I kept leaning toward us while you stayed still and free. You stopped reaching for me, and that's what broke me. I softened every disappointment so you wouldn't feel the strain. I learned how to miss you silently, turn longing into pain. I call distance understanding, call effort too much to ask. I kept lowering my knees until I barely recognized my heart. I thought love meant meeting halfway, even if I walked the most. I didn't know love disappears one heart stops reaching at all. You stopped reaching for me, and I felt it every time when I was the only one asking if we were still fine. I mistook patience for connection and silence for peace. You stopped reaching for me, and love quietly released. Maybe love shouldn't feel like waiting for someone to choose to care. Maybe wanting effort isn't asking too much, it's just wanting someone there. Don't regret how deeply I loved, I regret how small I became, trying to be easy enough so you wouldn't pull away. You stopped reaching for me, so now I'm reaching back. I'm picking up the parts of me I slowly let you let. I won't beg to be chosen, I won't chase what won't stay. You stopped reaching for me, and I finally walked away. Some love doesn't end with words, it ends when one heart keeps reaching and the other stops answering. I felt the weight before the words, and how you sighed my name. Love didn't hurt all at once, it settled in small ways. I noticed how my chest felt tight when you pulled back slowly. Still I told myself this heaviness was just what love was supposed to be. I thought staying meant commitment, that leaving meant I failed. So I carried what we wouldn't fix and called felt heavy, where breathing took its toll. I carry both our feelings on one tired soul. I can't believe in waiting and death, the payment we were true. I stayed where love felt heavy, and slowly lost me to you. I learned how to walk on silence, how to speak without a need. I folded parts of who I was so you wouldn't feel the squeeze. I called distance just a season, called effort asking too much. I stayed when love stopped lifting me and only asked me to clutch. I thought love was meant to bend you, not leave you standing tall. I didn't see love wasn't heavy, I was just carrying it all. I stayed where love felt heavy, long after joy grew thin. I mistook endurance for devotion and silence for staying in. I waited for the way to live, for you to choose me too. I stayed where love felt heavy until I couldn't feel like me anymore with you. Maybe love isn't meant to feel like burden, like holding your breath to belong. Maybe love should feel like resting, not proving you're strong. I don't regret how much I tried, I regret how long I stayed. Believing love was something you earned by carrying all the pain. I stayed where love felt heavy, but now I'm setting it down. I'm choosing lighter mornings and a heart that feels allowed. I remember how deeply I loved, not how much I endured. I stayed where love felt heavy once, but now I'm choosing love that feels sure. Some love doesn't break you loudly, it wears you down until you forget that love's never meant to feel this heavy. We didn't break in one loud night, no doors, no final fight. We still said see you later, as if later was still right. Our words stayed careful, gentle. Our smiles learned how to stay. But something underneath us was slowly washing away. There was no moment we could point to, no clear line crossed, just love thinning in our hands until we didn't notice what we lost. We didn't end, we dissolved like colors in the rain. still standing close together, but not feeling the same. We faded without drama, without a reason to defend. We didn't, we dissolved, and that somehow hurts more than an end. We kept the shape of every habit, kept the rhythm of our days, but meaning slipped through conversations we postponed and phrases we played. I felt you growing quieter, you felt me doing too. We were both still holding on to something we already outgrew. We thought staying silent was kindness, that peace meant we were strong, but silence only taught our love how to slowly disappear and move on. We didn't end, we dissolved, not in anger, not in blame, just two hearts losing temperature until love forgot its name. We stayed polite with our feelings, afraid of what we find. We didn't end, we dissolved and left no moment to rewind. Maybe love doesn't always shatter, maybe it softens until it's gone. Not every goodbye is spoken, someone lived and carried on. I don't regret the love we had, I regret how quiet we became, watching something beautiful fade without ever saying its name. We didn't end, we dissolved, and now I understand. Some love doesn't need an ending, just a gentle letting go of the hand. I remember how real it felt, even as I released. We didn't end, we dissolved into separate lives, finding peace. Some stories don't close with goodbye, they fade into memory, into silence, into two people who once loved deeply. Slowly let go. Your absence learned my mornings where your voice used to be. Coffee cools a little longer now. Silence keeps me company. I reach for habits we once shared, then stop halfway through. My hands still move like you're around. My heart still checks for you. I didn't plan to miss you daily, it just became my way. Like breathing in a quieter room that slowly taught me how to stay. Your absence learned my days, taught time to pass along. Every hour rearrange itself around what's gone. I didn't choose this rhythm, it quietly chose me. Your absence learned my days and made a different life out of me. just doesn't hurt the same each day. It teaches what to keep. Your absence learned my days, not cruel, just quietly true. It showed me how to live again without reaching for you. I stopped waiting for your shadow, stopped asking where you'd be. Your absence learned my days and taught my heart a softer kind of free. Maybe absence isn't emptiness, maybe it's a different sound. Not the ache of losing everything, but then what stays around. I don't hate the space you left, I just had to understand. Some people teach us presence, others teach us how to stand. Know my days, know my footsteps, not the echo of your name. I still remember how love felt, but it doesn't feel the same. I carry you like a quiet fact, not a wound I hide. Your absence walks beside my life, but it no longer decides. Your absence learned my days, and I finally learned me. I found my shape in empty hours where we used to be. I'll always know what we once were, but I won't stay that way. Your absence learned my days and taught me how to stay. Some people leave and take the noise with them. What remains is the quiet lesson of how to live slowly, honestly again. Honestly again. Didn't notice when I changed, just felt myself grow thin. I gave you all my steady parts until there was nothing left within. I smiled through the heaviness, said I'm okay with grace. I kept my breaking out of sight so love could keep its place. I thought love meant pushing further when my body said enough. I didn't know that loving you was asking me to be more than I was. I loved you past my strength, past where I could stand. I gave you more than I could carry with these tired hands. I stayed when my heart was shaking, called it being true. I loved you past my strength, and I almost lost myself in you. I learned how to need less space, how to speak less of my pain. I bent my needs in a corner so you wouldn't feel the strain. I told myself this was devotion, love asked you to bleed. I didn't see how often I chose you over me. I thought endurance meant forever, that quitting meant I failed. But love shouldn't leave you empty or teach your heart to feel ashamed. I loved you past my strength, isn't meant to drain you. Maybe it's meant to hold you still. Maybe giving everything you have isn't love. If it breaks your will, I don't regret the heart I gave. I regret ignoring the signs that loving someone shouldn't mean leaving yourself behind. Now I listen when I feel tired, when my chest says slow. I'm learning love can be gentle and still be real, still grow. I carry you as a lesson learned, not a way to prove I loved you past my strength once, but now I choose me too. Silence for being seen. I'll love with what I can give freely, not what I have to lose. I loved you past my strength before, but now I'm learning how to love me too. Some love teaches you how deep you can feel. I stood where we were breaking, waiting for your voice. I thought love meant standing up when silence makes a choice. You watched the distance widen, didn't reach, didn't run, like losing us was easier than asking to stay and try again. I didn't need perfection, just effort in your eyes, but love grew tired on my side when you wouldn't even try. You didn't fight for us when it mattered most. I was holding what we had while you let it go. I kept believing love would move you, that my heart was enough, but you didn't fight for us, and that's where we broke. I softened every hard moment so you wouldn't feel the strain. I learned how to carry questions without saying your name. You chose comfort over courage, quiet over the truth, and I felt it slipping through my hands with nothing I could do. I thought love meant showing up even when it's hard to stay, but love can't survive on one heart, choosing every day. You didn't fight for us when the ground felt thin. I was still choosing we while you chose peace instead. I mistook waiting for faithfulness and silence for trust. You didn't fight for us, and that's too much. Maybe love isn't meant to beg. Maybe effort shouldn't be asked. Maybe wanting someone to stay isn't weakness, it's just wanting to be matched. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret the hope I kept, believing love would wake you up if I just loved Love doesn't end in anger. It ends when you realize that love should never be the thing you have to fight for by yourself. Talked around the truth each night, said everything but how we felt. We smiled through uncomfortable moments, let silence speak for itself. I felt the weight behind your eyes, you felt it in my tone. We kept pretending nothing changed, while honesty stood alone. We thought protecting each other meant keeping feelings small, but truth doesn't disappear just because it's never called. We forgot to be honest before the distance grew. We chose peace over clarity and slowly lost the truth. We held on to what felt safe, afraid of what we'd find. We forgot to be honest and left our hearts behind. Every real question so it wouldn't start a fight. We learned how to agree quietly just to get through the night. I swallow words I should have said, you did the same, I know. We were both afraid the truth would be, but finally let us go. We thought silence meant maturity, the calm was being strong, but love grows fragile when it lives too long. And what's wrong? We forgot to be honest when it mattered most. We kept the surface looking fine while losing what we held close. We didn't break from something loud, we faded over time. We forgot to be honest, and that's where love declined. Maybe honesty isn't cruel, maybe it's the kindest thing. Maybe love doesn't need perfection, just voices willing to speak. I don't regret the love we had, I regret the truth we hid, because love didn't fail us first, we failed to be real with it. Now I speak what I'm feeling sooner, I don't save it for too late. I've learned that hearts don't heal from guesses, they heal when we say. I carry this lesson gently, not as blame but as proof that love needs honesty to live, not silence disguised as truth. We forgot to be honest, but I won't forget again. I'll choose truth even when it shakes the ground I'm standing in. I love with open conversations, not fear, dressed as peace. doesn't end because it wasn't real. It ends because truth waited too long to be spoken out loud. It didn't start as loneliness, it felt like closeness first. But somewhere in the middle, my giving started to hurt. I noticed how I lean in more, how you lean back with ease. Love didn't leave all at once, it shifted degree by degree. I told myself this was normal, that love just ebbs and flows. But my heart was doing all the work and yours was letting go. Love felt one-sided, slowly, not sharp, not loud, not clear, just me reaching a little farther while you stayed right here. I kept calling it patience, calling it being strong, but love fell one-sided slowly, and that's what was wrong. I learned how to need you quietly, how to ask without sound. I adjusted every expectation just to keep you around. You didn't stop loving suddenly, you just stopped choosing me. And I kept pretending imbalance was what love was meant to be. I thought love meant giving more when the other side felt thin. I didn't see I was pouring out with nothing coming. Love felt one-sided slowly, and the things you didn't do in the moments I showed up alone while still calling it us with you. I waited for the scale to even, for you to meet me strong, but love fell one-sided slowly, and I was losing me to you. Maybe love isn't supposed to feel like math, like keeping score inside. Maybe when effort needs explaining, the answer is already implied. I don't regret how deeply I loved, I regret how long I stayed believing love would balance out if I just gave and gave. Love fell one-sided slowly until I couldn't ignore the weight. I was holding all the connection while you watched me wait. I won't confuse endurance with devotion, or silence with truth. Love fell one-sided slowly, and now I'm choosing me too. Doesn't break suddenly, it fades when only one heart keeps reaching and calling it love. didn't leave all at once. You stayed just close enough. Your words were soft, your touch was kind, but never quite enough. You smiled like you were still here, but your heart was elsewhere already. I didn't see you were preparing me to lose you, slowly, gently. I thought kindness meant commitment, that soft meant we're okay. I didn't know you were easing away, so I wouldn't beg you to stay. You were letting me down gently in ways that didn't scream. No broken words, no slammed doors, just fading from my dream. I kept holding on to moments while you loosened your grip. You were letting me down gently, and I was learning how to slip. But not fully. You listened but not deep. You stayed enough to keep me calm, but never enough to keep. I learned to read between your lines, to feel what you wouldn't say. You were already halfway gone while I was still choosing to stay. I told myself this was maturity, that love didn't need to be loud, but love shouldn't feel like slowly being placed down on the ground. You were letting me down gently, turning love into air, still warm enough to feel like hope, but not solid enough to be there. Softness for effort and patience for truth. You were letting me down gently, and I was losing me to you. Maybe kindness can still break you when honesty stays quiet too long. Maybe leaving softly doesn't mean you didn't know it was wrong. I don't hate how you handled the end, I just wish you'd been clear, because gentle goodbyes still hurt when you're the only one who's here. You were letting me down gently, and now I finally see. Being spared the crash still means I felt every piece. I won't stay where love fades politely or disappears without truth. You were letting me down gently, and now I'm letting go of you. Some endings don't bruise you suddenly, they ache because they were careful, quiet and still. Goodbyes. Thought I missed your voice at night, the way you said my name. But sitting with the truth a while, I felt something else remain. I miss the way you used to try before love grew routine, when effort showed up naturally, not something I had to lean in for unseen. I blame the silence on missing you, but silence told me more. It wasn't you I ached for now, it was what you stopped showing before. I miss the effort, not you, the way you used to care, the reaching, the checking in, knowing I'm mattered there. I don't miss waiting alone or asking just to feel. I miss the effort, not you, and that truth finally feels real. Finally feels real. I replayed us in my head, trying to feel the same, but every memory led me back to moments I carried the flame. I kept us moving with my hands. You let the distance grow. I wasn't missing your presence, I was missing being met halfway though. I thought longing meant love stayed strong, that missing meant we were true. But longing taught me something else. I was missing what you didn't do. I miss the effort, not you, the consistency, the care, the feeling that I wasn't alone in choosing to be there. I don't miss shrinking my needs or pretending I was fine. I miss the effort, not you, and I'm done crossing that line. Maybe missing someone isn't always about them. Maybe it's about how you felt then. Seemed chosen, safe in the small things before effort quietly ended. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret the truth I delayed, that I was grieving the effort, not the person who walked away. I miss the effort, not you, and now I let that go. I won't chase the memory of care where effort doesn't show. I wait for love that meets me fully, not love I have to prove. I miss the effort, not you, and that's how I finally move. Sometimes healing starts when you realize you were missing a person, you were missing being chosen. We started out with open hands, dreams pointing the same way, but somewhere in the middle years we changed on different days. Yeah, I grew into the question, you grew into the calm. We smiled like we were still aligned, but something was already gone. We didn't stop loving, suddenly nothing loud, nothing wrong. We just kept becoming different people for too long. We didn't grow together, we grew side by side. Same room, different futures, same love, different minds. I kept waiting for our past to meet, you kept walking yours. We didn't grow together, and that's what hurt the most. Change, you stayed. I reached for more conversation. You hoped time would smooth the waves. We called it balance, called it trust, called it letting things be. But growth doesn't happen quietly when hearts aren't listening. I thought love meant slowing down, so so the other feels at home. We didn't grow together, not in rhythm, not in pace. I was leaning into change, you were trying to keep things the same. We held on to familiar ground as new selves tried to form. We didn't grow together, we outgrew what we were born. Maybe love isn't about growing fast, maybe it's about growing true. But growing true in different directions still pulls two hearts in two. I don't blame us for who we became, I just wish we'd said it sooner. That loving someone doesn't always mean you grow beside them forever. We didn't grow together, and now I understand. Sometimes love is real and gentle, but not built to expand. I'll carry what we taught each other, even as I let us go. We didn't grow together, but the love was still something I don't know. Some love ends not because it failed, but because two people kept growing honestly, just not in the same direction. Love didn't stay in photographs or promises we made. It stayed in cups of coffee, cold in things we never saved, and songs you hummed without a word, and jokes that no one knew. Love didn't stay in us anymore, it stayed in pieces of you. I don't miss the shape of who we were, or trying to pretend. I miss the little moments that didn't know they'd end. Love Love stayed in small memories, not the big goodbye, and quiet looks and half smiles passing by. It didn't follow you when you left, it didn't call my name. Love stayed in small memories and softly did the same to me. Love stayed in Sunday afternoons and light across the floor, and how I still pause mid-sentence like you're still listening for more, in the way my hand still reaches out before I realize some habits were just love learning how to survive. I thought forgetting would be loud, like ripping out a page, but love prefers to linger in quiet ways. Love stayed in small memories, in details time can't steal, not enough to pull me back, just enough to feel it didn't hurt like it used to. It doesn't make me ache. Love stayed in small memories, and I let them gently stay. Maybe love doesn't disappear, it just changes where it lives. Maybe endings don't erase the tenderness we give. I don't wish the memories away, I don't hold them tight, I let them pass like evening light, soft and right. Now love shows up in different ways, not tied to you or them. It taught me how to feel something without needing it to begin again. I carry us without the weight, without the blame, just a quiet warmth I recognize when love whispers your name. Love stayed in small memories, and that's okay with me. They don't ask for my return, they don't trap me, they remind me love was real once, even if it couldn't stay. Love stayed in small memories and helped me learn how to walk away. Some love doesn't follow you forward, it stays behind, like a soft echo teaching you that something beautiful once existed, and that is enough. I'm not rushing toward tomorrow, I'm learning how to stay. I let the quiet mornings teach me what my heart needs to say. I don't chase the feeling anymore, I let it come and go. I'm making peace with where I am and letting the future move slow. I used to search for love in noise and promises too fast, but love sounds softer when it's real, and it doesn't ask me to forget my past. I'll let love find me again. I won't run or pretend. I won't force what isn't ready. I'll just let it begin. I'll keep my heart open, not broken, not afraid to feel. I'll let love find me again when it's gentle and real. I've learned my heart needs honesty, not fireworks or chase. It needs someone who stays present in the ordinary days. I don't need saving or fixing. I don't need to be chased. I just need love that shows up and meets me in the same place. I thought love was something you earn by giving until you're thin. But love begins where you're already whole and someone chooses to walk in. I'll let love find me again at a pace that feels kind. I won't repeat old patterns or leave myself behind. I'll trust the space between heartbeats, trust what time reveals. I'll let love find me again when it knows how to feel. Maybe love arrives when you stop asking why, and when you finally rest inside your skin. Maybe healing isn't closing the door, it's knowing when to open it again. I don't regret the love I lost, it taught me how to stand. Now I know what love should feel like when it reaches for my hand. I speak more gently to myself now. I listen when I'm tired. I don't confuse longing with destiny or pain with being desired. I've learned to love the quiet space where hope grows slow and true. I'm not waiting for love anymore, I'm just making room. I'll let love find me again, not out of fear or need, but from a heart that knows its worth and finally feels free. I'll welcome love that chooses me, not love I have to prove. I'll let love find me again, and I'll be ready to. Love doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes quietly when you're no longer searching, when you're simply living honestly and your heart is fine.